Africa, a continent the world knows as rich in natural resources. Gold, diamonds, oil, gas, and fertile lands. Yet the question remains, why do the people of Africa still face poverty, division, and endless struggle? Against this backdrop, a groundbreaking announcement has emerged. Burkina Faso declared that from now on, all Africans will enter without paying visa fees. This is not just an administrative reform. It is a declaration, a message, the spark of a revolution. The question is, will this step remain limited to Burkina Faso, or will it open the door for all of Africa? Africa carries deep wounds. When colonial powers took over the continent, they drew lines on the map at will. One stroke of the pen split tribes into two. Friends were separated, brothers divided, nations broken. Even today, because of those lines, Africa has over 50 countries. Yet traveling from one African country to another can be harder than going to Europe or America. Visas, fees, endless paperwork, all of it builds walls between brothers. And these are the very walls Burkina Faso is now tearing down. Because if one nation cannot welcome its continental family with open arms, then what is the true meaning of freedom and independence? On September 11th, 2025, the government of Burkina Faso made history. The Council of Ministers announced that citizens of all African countries would now enter without paying visa fees. Yes, online applications will still be required, but the biggest obstacle, financial burden, has been removed. This decision came under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the young leader who has given Burkina Faso a new identity in recent years. The government said the purpose of this policy is to boost tourism, to strengthen cultural ties, to build a positive global image, and most importantly, to put African unity into practice. But in truth, this is about more than just tourism or economics. This is about symbolism. It is a message. Do you know that in the 1960s, Ghana's leader Kwame Nkrumah dreamed of a United States of Africa? He believed that if Africa could unite under one flag, one passport, and one currency, no global power could weaken it. Sadly, that dream never came true. But decades later, Burkina Faso's decision breathes new life into it. It reminds us that African unity doesn't depend on waiting for institutions. It depends on our courage and our choices. This decision also has huge economic implications. Ending visa fees means more tourists, more trade, more opportunities, new jobs for small businesses and youth, easier returns for the African diaspora. The whole world knows the secret behind Europe's strength. It is not just economics, but free movement. When the European Union opened its borders to each other, it became the world's largest economy. If Europe can do it, why can't Africa? Burkina Faso has removed the first stone. Now it is on the rest of Africa to bring down the entire wall. This is not the first time an African country has taken such a step. Seychelles has been visa-free for years. Benin opened its doors in 2017. The Gambia followed. And in 2023, Rwanda announced that all Africans could enter without visas. Now Burkina Faso has joined this wave. This is no longer the story of one nation. It is the story of a rising movement, a wave that has the power to transform the continent. But let's not ignore the challenges. Burkina Faso itself is struggling. Terrorism, political instability, economic hardships, these are real. Critics say this is just symbolic. In practice, nothing will change. But the truth is, sometimes even a symbolic decision can redirect a nation's future. The message alone is powerful. Burkina Faso, despite its struggles, is showing an open heart and open doors. The African Union has a roadmap called Agenda 2063. It envisions one day when Africa will unite under one passport, one currency, and borderless travel. But do we really have to wait until 2063? Burkina Faso says, no, we must begin now. Real sovereignty means making our own choices, not waiting for orders from outside. Imagine if giants like Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, and Ethiopia all joined this policy. What would happen? Trade would flourish. Youth would learn from one another. African innovations and businesses would rise globally. And most importantly, people would see each other not as strangers, but as brothers and sisters. This is not just a dream, it is within reach. And this is the true revolution, freedom across borders. So the question is, will other African nations follow Burkina Faso's lead? Will we live to see a truly borderless Africa in our lifetime? What do you think? Is this step merely symbolic, or is it the beginning of real change? Share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, if you found this video valuable, white heavy checkmark subscribe. White heavy checkmark hit the bell icon. White heavy checkmark share it with your friends. Because maybe this